thumbs up and everything's going. Hope you guys are all being safe, not COVID affected and all that good stuff. Hope your business is rocking. I'm telling you, it's been a great week. I should really start my timer here so I know what's going on. But my clients, I'm telling you, they've been killing it, and I love it. You know, I don't want anybody out there making excuses that this COVID's killing their business. And I know some of you, it's really going to affect you. But, you know, a lot of you guys is pivot, make something happen, look at something new. So today it's going to be a really interesting show. I'm going to talk a little bit in this introductory section. I'm going to talk about your pitch and what's going on and why it's important. You know, then I think we're really, really lucky. We got a good friend of mine, Fred Costa. He's got one of the best companies here in Houston. I mean, I've known Fred for about 8, 9, 10, 12 years, something like that. He's smiling at me off camera. And, you know, we've smoked a lot of cigars. We've caught a lot of fish together. And but he's got a business that's just killing it. So we want to go there. So let's get into it and talk what we want to talk about today. I want to talk about the pitch. All right, the pitch is all important. You know, I remember I told you last week I don't read a lot of books. I read magazines. And here's where we're coming from today, the perfect pitch. It's coming from Sport Fishing Magazine. I think it was March of this year. The perfect pitch is really important. And this article is talking about, you know, captains that will, you know, throw in a live bait to an already riled up billfish. Primarily, this is sailfish and marlin and something like this. But how does that relate to your business? Well, in your business, you know, when I preach marketing, there's 4 things that you've got to do to have a successful marketing campaign. The first is you've got to interrupt. You've got to do something that's different to get somebody's attention. After you interrupt, you got to engage them. Then you got to go ahead and you got to educate people, and then you got to make them an offer they can't refuse. And the pitch, this final pitch bait in this article is that offer they can't refuse. Hey, Jonathan, you got that video that I wanted to key up there. Let's look at this. We're going to kind of hold it here at the beginning and show you here. But this is marlin fishing. And, you know, marlin fishing, if you've ever done it, it is hours and hours and hours and nothing. And then, holy crap, all hell breaks loose. And, you know, this is what's going on. Here we go. We got the interrupt. So if you can pause right there. Just pause right there. You see, we got the interrupt. We had something called a teaser. You know, that first segment, I don't know, can you back it up a few seconds there, Jonathan? Just go to the first 2 seconds of this video. But you're going to see this teaser going through the water right there. There's a teaser. And that's going through it. It's disrupting everything. It's splashing. It's making a bunch of noise. And what happens is that marlin's down below it, and it hears this commotion. It feels it on its lateral line. It looks up. Your customer's the same way. They're out there, nothing. Boom, there's this commotion. There's something, this teaser, that gets their attention. And that's what you want to do. So go ahead, Jonathan, go a little farther. So we start going and we get going. The teaser gets that fish up. There's actually no hooks in it. So we pull it out here and we throw it in that pitch bait. The pitch bait's there. Now that's the one that's got a hook in it. This thing's getting teased up. It's excited. You're engaging it. Educate it. Boom, and he eats. That is what your customers want. That is what you need to do. That is the life. I'm telling you. You can stop that there. But that's what we need to do with marketing. It needs to be as freaking exciting as that, because it goes from boredom to mass hysteria. Imagine what it's like when you're out there on that boat. I've been out there. I fished in Cabo and in Puerto Vallarta, all through Mexico. And when you get this marlin, we fish these teasers that are about this big, and they're about this big around, and they're 5 feet off the back of the boat. And when you see what looks like a pool cue come out the back of the water, which is a marlin's bill, 5 feet off the back of the boat trying to eat this thing, they're excited and they're ready to go. And when you do this with your customers, it's going to be imperative to help them really understand where they want to go and where you want to take them. So you've got to be able to go ahead and, you know, let them know and get them excited. You know, I saw somebody this morning. I was trolling Facebook and looking around, and I'm in a couple groups here in Houston, small business, and I saw somebody that put out an ad. They're a catering company, and they said, "Hey, I'm looking for likes to come in and follow my newsletter." Well, what's engaging? What interrupted me there? Nothing. You know, I wrote back to the lady. I said, I hope you don't mind. I want to give you a little bit of advice. Who's your client? You know, if you've been watching my show the first couple of weeks, I keep talking about fishing with hot dogs. You got to know exactly who your client is. What if she would have said out, hey, if you're an event manager and you have to put on a sterling event in the next 6 months and you don't know where to go, I've got a newsletter coming out that highlights the best things, or the 12 best things you could look for in an event caterer. You know, that's more exciting. Come in and get there. You know, not just, hey, I'm bored, I don't know what the hell to say. Give me 60 likes. You've got to go out and make people excited about doing business with you. Because what happens when people right now are out searching for you? They're bored right now. I'm telling you, this COVID's got people, they're bored, they're sitting there. You know, as I can see Fred, and it's funny, as I can see him in the reflection back there behind me, and he's just like back there smiling and stuff. But they're just sitting there, they're scrolling, and you've got right now about 10 seconds to get somebody's attention. And if you don't have the right teaser out there, if you don't have the right thing out there to get their attention, to make them stop the scrolling and look at you, there's no way in heck that you can ever expect them to become a client. And that's what we want to do is, we want to get people to go in there and look at this, because here's what happens when those people are out there right now and they're searching, and they find you. 99% of the time, they're not looking to buy today. Unless they're, searching for plumbers and they got a pipe that just broke. They're searching for dentists and they said a tooth just broke. That's different. They're going to get in, they're going to get you, and they're going to move there. But what they do is they move along this buying cycle. They come out and they search. They see you excite them. Hopefully, when you get them there, you don't send them to your website first. You want to send them somewhere where you can gather some information about them. So you, like I said, you want to engage them and educate them. You want to give them something for free. You want to give them, something to put them into a drip campaign where you start giving them the right information with the time that it's really ready to go. We're going to call for action and get you there to buy from you. And those are the things that we want to do. We want to make sure it's there. So there really is a process. There's processes to everything. Processes to everything that we do, and that's what we want to do. And I think that's going to be great, with having Fred on today and talking, because, he's owned his business for a long time. He's done some really great things, and he's built systems and processes to make his team successful. And, we're going to talk about that, and that's what I'm really excited about today. So, as we're going to get into this, remember, go read about pitch baits, get in there, understand what's going on. You've only got the things, if you're really interested in about pitch baits, next Thursday, what is it, the 16th, I think, I'm actually doing a webinar with the Heights Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be online, and we're going to talk about how to build a 30-second commercial, and how to actually, get a pitch bait, your pitch bait. That's what you got. 30 seconds to get somebody excited into you, not just saying, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney. I want you to get people excited about wanting more and more information from you, because that's what it's about. That's what we're really going to focus on. So, you remember, you need a guide. You need a guide to help you. We're going to go there. I'm Michael Rager. We're going to go to our first break. Stay there. We're going to help make you a real success, and we're going to be back with my good friend Fred in just a few minutes.
Are you looking for a full-service company that can handle everything from a new roof installation, restoration, and maintenance with all the experience that comes from nearly 50 years of business? Joe Ochoa Roofing specializes in inspections, roof repairs, new roof installations, gutters, siding, windows, and even more. Damage on your roof can sometimes take up to 1 year or more to show up. Joe Ochoa Roofing gives you the peace of mind you need to ensure your home and family are well protected from weather elements. Joe Ochoa Roofing offers the best quality workmanship with an accredited business since 1996 by the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. We also have financing available with no interest and no payments for 12 months. So don't delay and call us to get a quote at 281-890-0000 or visit our website at www.ochoaroofing.com for more information.
Graphic design, banners, brochures, business cards, posters, any printing you need for your company's branding, Priority Printing SS is your solution. With more than 30 years of experience, Priority Printing SS has been the preferred solution for hundreds of companies for any printed materials. At Priority Printing SS, they believe in listening to you, bringing you creative ideas to effective results. your printed materials talk about your company. Make sure they open the door for you. Trust your printed materials to the experts. Call Priority Printing SS at 713-575-9800 and let Priority Printing SS handle with ease all your printing needs.
All right, welcome back. This is Michael Rager, your business guide with Teach Your Business to Fish. I am so lucky today to have my good friend Fred Costa from NSC Information Technology Group. Fred, how are you doing today?
Mike, I really appreciate you having me here. I'm doing great.
You're great, man. You know, we've known each other for, a decade now. We both didn't have gray hair, I think, when we first met each other, did we?
I've had it since 23. So,
man, so tell us about NSC and, give us a background of what the company does and, what you do for your clients.
So NSC Information Technology Group is a 20-year-old cybersecurity managed service company, IT outsourcing company. What we really focus is on small to enterprise-sized businesses, cybersecurity, constant proactive maintaining of their infrastructure, all their security in and out. Just like now going through this COVID, one of the biggest things people need to understand is you've got all these remote workers, but out in their homes or where they're working from, what's the security that's available to them there?
Right. So, you started 20 years ago. What made you decide to start your own business?
Well, I was a network engineer fixing to become a CIO.
Okay.
And the job that I was going to take was overseas. I just had a son and I didn't want to go overseas. And so I started the company here. And I was very fortunate that a lot of my existing clients were doctors in the medical center. Okay. So I was able to leverage that and start picking up clients there. But in 2004, Methodist started pulling away from all those doctors. They were giving them free IT support, and I was able to scoop up a ton of doctors there right around the time when EMR packages were starting.
Okay. What are EMR packages? For
electronic medical records. Okay. It's all-inclusive package that does all the billing, all the patient information, and back then it was starting to be very new, and everybody was required to have it. And these packages started off at $75,000 per package. Now you can get one for under $1,000.
Oh man!
So what was happening is because they were being required, we were able to start implementing all those solutions in-house with all our clients.
Okay, when you first started doing, you saw the first segment, we talked about attraction and stuff like this, and interrupting people. When you started your business and first started, how did you go about getting customers? I mean, how did it happen?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I would sit by the phone, after I did a bunch of advertising and papers and stuff like that. But it was really until my father-in-law, he was a VP of an insurance company, he said, you need to get into a networking group where you're the only industry in that networking group. And so I don't know if you know Jeannie Fuller with CEO Network Partners. I started off with one of her groups, then I got in a couple other different groups, and it was all word of mouth. And it just started. But then now SEO, a lot of pay-per-click. So we do a lot of advertising online now.
Yeah. Early on, when you're first starting a business, it's funny. As one of my taglines is, I can show any business how to gain $100,000 in new revenue without spending a dime on marketing. And it's you got to go out when you're starting out, man. You're lean and mean.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to do, because I know you're a massive marketer. I mean, you're connected to everybody, and we hang in a lot of the same circles. I keep telling Juan and Jonathan, if we got to allow us to have cigars in here, because we get a lot better. We get a lot of high end guys. We'll sit here and smoke them and just hey,
couple of drinks too.
Because there's nothing better than drinking at noon. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And our Jimmy Buffett analogy. But when we were starting a business, what's the first mistake you made? You said you did advertising and stuff like that, and you sat down and waited for the phone to ring. What was, I see a lot of people come to me and says, I don't want to market because it doesn't work.
The biggest mistake any new business owner can make is not going out. You have to be out as much as possible, meeting people, getting introductions, getting those influencers to listen to you, and just putting yourself out there. Go to every networking group, go to every chamber meeting. It might not be for you, but you get the exposure and you get in front of people.
Yeah, and it's also, you got to have the right message. You got to say the right thing.
Absolutely, yes.
You know, I go to a couple of networking groups right now, and there's a couple of old guys in there, and older than me. You know, I'm I think we're about the same age. But there's some real old guys, and they're in there, and they're doing jingles, and they're doing stuff like that. And that really, back in the day, really worked. Now it's we need to be really informative about what we do and who we do it for, because we've been networking for 20 years, each of us, and we know a crap load of people. And so it's really important that when we do meet people, we understand, one, what they do, who they do it for, how they do it, and how we can refer you. How did you answer those questions, in the early days?
Well, it was really understanding, getting people to know you, and then listening to them first, is really understanding what they do. And you have to do that when you get introduced to someone. But we would come out, and I would say that we are a cyber company. We protect businesses from themselves and from others. And so what happens is, when you're a small business, you don't have the budget of a Fortune 100 company. So we can allow you to have that same quality of support for less cost.
You're able to pick up their hot buttons.
Absolutely.
You mentioned early on that a lot of your clients were doctors. So you really carved out a niche early. How did that help you be successful?
Well, it got me to understand where they were coming from as physicians. They're not the greatest business people in the world, but understanding and explaining to them what they need in their language to be able to support them. And then we were able to carve out other industries, like we do oil and gas service companies, medical, legal, manufacturing, and construction. Those are our top 5, but you really have to be industry specific and make sure we have every other type of industry under, but those are the top 5 that we focused on. And then it branches out from there.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. I think you've seen my talk, and I talk about the fishing with hot dogs. You can't go out there fish for everything. And, I think one of the times we went tuna fishing, right?
Absolutely.
And we were bringing up a tuna, and a marlin showed up. That white marlin showed up, and it was badass. We weren't fishing for marlin, but here it was. We didn't catch it. We were able to hook it, and it jumped off and hit the side of the boat. That was pretty cool. But you've got to be, as a professional like yourself, you're going to get that doctor come in and say, hey, my friend who owns a manufacturing company needs your help. Even though you're not fishing for him directly, you're still able to go ahead and handle him, right?
The one important thing that I've learned is asking. Asking for a lead or a referral. Because I'll give you one example. I was in a doctor's office, and I talked to the client. I said, you're happy with our services, right? But we've never gotten a referral from you ever. And he goes, well, I thought you were too busy. And so he brought me into his office, started calling people right then and there. I got 3 clients out of that specific ask. So going and asking your existing clients, because they're your biggest referral source.
Yeah, you got to. I tell I'm a big hockey fan growing up in Detroit, and it's a Wayne Gretzky quote, is you can't score if you don't shoot. And you've got to go ask the question.
Well, the other thing is that they don't know that you need extra business. You have to educate your clients. And then, most people, they bring on a client and then they forget about them. That's the biggest mistake. What you need to do is I visit my existing clients. I have them on a rotation every month to go and visit them, because then I end up being like Norm from Cheers. They go, Fred, and then they start thinking about new projects.
Yeah. It's just the way you've got to go is we talked about in the opener, we got to interrupt them. We got to engage with them, and that's what you're doing. You're engaging and educating them about what you do, and then give them offers. Right now, as I got an offer going out, with COVID, one of my offers is I got a $5,000 grant for small businesses, And that doesn't mean I'm going to give them $5,000. I'm going to do everything for free. I'm going to reduce my prices down, take $5,000 off, a package, and make it more affordable. So we're going in there and looking at those things. And that's what you need to do is you got to be looking at. So when you first started, how did you offer your services to clients? I mean, was it here, this is what I'm going to do, or do you put packages, or what do you do?
There's three different types of packages. We have service level agreements, we have block of time agreements, and then we have project work. Service level agreements are a year contract. Block of time agreements, they start at 40 hours. When they get down to 6, they renew again. It's just kind of like the tollway. And then project work is when somebody needs us for a specific project. A large company doesn't have the time to handle this specific project. We can go in there and work with their existing IT staff to make sure that this is taken care of for them.
It's what you need to do is you need to be able to, go there and move down. Not everybody can afford your platinum service right off the bat, but that shouldn't mean they shouldn't be able to afford you, because if you do your job right, you're going to move them up.
Well, we can scale down. So like in the block of time agreements, they usually start at 40, but they're small enough or they're scared to sign an agreement. We can bring them down to 10 hours and get them more comfortable, and then we'll bump them up to the 40 when they're ready.
Yeah, I do it too. I got one of the things that I offer is 2 months. You pay for 2 months, but you get 3. So we're going to do a 90-day. Let me see if I tick you off in the first 90 days and make you want to hate me. But I sign you on for 90 days. You pay for you pay 2 months in advance, but you get 90 days worth of work. And after the 90 days, we go month to month, and we just keep it there. It's just making it easy from the bot.
Real important is providing proactive support, not reactive support. I equate it to a car. If you don't touch your car for a really long time, it's just going to fall apart. But if you're constantly maintaining, changing the oil, checking the tires, it's going to last you forever.
And that's what you want, because I want to go. We're going to do. I think we're lucky is we're going to have 3 segments together. I think that next segment 2 is we're going to wrap this one up here in about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Is I want to get more in depth of what people really need to look at, because I know. There's that old saying out there, it's not if you get hacked, it's when you get hacked.
Yes.
And, I know I've been hacked and it wasn't fun. And I'm just a little guy, somebody hacked my blog site and it cost me several $1,000s to fix it, and I was not happy. I actually got a call from Google, and they said, have you been on your website? And I said, no. And they said, will you please go there right now? And I did. And it was in Chinese and there was porn. It was not good. It was my michaelrager.com site. It was not good. It cost me a couple grand to get it fixed. We had to go, spend. You're the one who told me about, one of the cyber, the backup thing that I do. Carbonite. Yeah, you got me on Carbonite, and because of your recommendation, and it really helped me, because once I had my computer crash and it died, and I had to go back up. And I had the backup. So, it was great for me that I knew somebody like you that could, give me those recommendations and move it up. So let's just go there to end in this segment right now. Tell us who your perfect client is today.
So a great client is anywhere from 10 to probably 500 employees.
Okay.
Anything after that, we put into the enterprise level. So it's clients that are having problems with internet security, have been hacked, financial companies that have been hacked, title companies that have been hacked, a lot of issues going on internally, and the frustration has become so great that they finally need to bring in somebody outside that deals with this on a day-to-day basis. And you really have to have a person that has true business IT experience. You can't have somebody like a Geek Squad come in and try to fix those type of things. You really need somebody that's out there. I should be able to come into your business, you have a problem, diagnose it in 30 minutes, and then offer up a solution.
Yeah. There's time and a place for the Geek Squad. That's why they're there.
Sure.
But, it's when they come to you, they're starting to get up to the major leagues.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. So this has been an interesting first segment. I love it. Let's I think we're going to break here in a second, right, Jonathan? So we're going to go to break. We're going to come back. I'm Mike Rager, your business guide, my friend Fred Costa. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about internet security and all that fun stuff that scares us to death.
The right tax team is key to any successful business. At America's Tax Firm, our goal is to help individuals and businesses of all sizes with accounting solutions and tax strategies that yield profitability, sustainability, and growth. At America's Tax Firm, we have a team of experienced tax consultants and advisors that can help your company optimize business strategies to minimize taxes and reduce liabilities. From preparing and filing your personal or business taxes, or choosing the right legal structure for your business, to resolving complex tax issues with the IRS, America's Tax Firm is your turnkey solution. Take a strong and decisive step and let America's Tax Firm be part of your success. Are you looking for a full-service company that can handle everything from a new roof installation, restoration, and maintenance with all the experience that comes from nearly 50 years of business? Joe Ochoa Roofing specializes in inspections, roof repairs, new roof installations, gutters, siding, windows, and even more. Damage on your roof can sometimes take up to 1 year or more to show up. Joe Ochoa Roofing gives you the peace of mind you need to ensure your home and family are well protected from weather elements. Joe Ochoa Roofing offers the best quality workmanship with an accredited business since 1996 by the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. We also have financing available with no interest and no payments for 12 months. So don't delay and call us to get a quote at 281-890-0000 or visit our website at www.ochoaroofing.com for more information.
Our nation is being seriously affected, not only emotionally, but also clinically. Parents or guardians dealing with a teenager in crisis that require transport to an appropriate treatment facility makes that decision even more difficult. My Armor Services Transport is here to help. Their agents are personal protection officers and private investigators, state certified and trained to accommodate firm boundaries and de-escalations, all while recognizing your loved one's sense of individuality and dignity. Most times your loved one will not respond favorably to being placed in a treatment program. Positive and safe transportation assistance becomes critical when violent or defiant behavior to a placement is anticipated. My Armor Services Transport understands this is a difficult time for you and your family. They are committed to transporting your loved one with dignity, respect, securely, and with compassion. Let them assist with this heavy burden. Call today at 1-800-341-0919 and let My Armor Services Transport be the first strong step you take toward resolving this difficult and complicated issue.
All right, we're back. This is Michael Rager with Teach Your Business to Fish, the business guide. And Fred Costa from NSE. I knew I'd do it. Information Services Technology Group. Damn it. I told you, Fred, I was going to screw it up.
It's okay.
I was going to do it right. He was just saying we need to put his big banner behind him, and we'll do that later. But, Fred, let's talk a little bit about right now. We got COVID going on. The world's in a different place. When clients call you right now, what's the big fear? What's the big issue they're having?
Well, at the beginning of COVID, the biggest thing was how do we work remotely? And a lot of those clients were already established to do that, but since they haven't done it in a while, the problem is getting them established, making sure they have secure connections. The biggest thing is security from point to point, making sure that they're secure through a VPN tunnel or through some kind of remote software to get them connected and have all the functionality that they did sitting at their desk.
So what's the importance of the connect connectivity from point A to point B. Is
So
that
it's
where they can get hacked?
Yeah, so making sure that nobody can go through that tunnel or access that tunnel. It's called a VPN tunnel.
Right.
And there's just a point-to-point secure connection that's out there where nobody can see. The other thing is the biggest problem today is the end users' internet service or security on their end. Who's touching their machine, or the kids coming in, getting on their work computer, or their spouse getting in, trolling on the internet, is making sure that you have those policies in place to make sure that they're the only ones that can touch that computer. What kind of connectivity do they have? Are they sitting behind a firewall there at home? Because if you're just using your Comcast or your AT&T modem, it's not providing any security unless it's on the physical machine.
Right. So you gotta make sure we got the firewall set up, everything there that's gonna go there. So when they're coming to you now, they're worried, they're this, they got all these other things. How have things, that now more people are working from home than in the office, how has that made it more difficult for business owners?
Well, making sure that the actual end user has the full functionality, all the printing services, printing back to their location. Most remote services now allow you to have a print back function. Okay. So if you had a printer there in the office and now you have a virtual printer that allows you to print back to your device or your printer there in your home office. Some of the other things is making sure that the security is in place, going to each individual's home, setting them up with a firewall, making sure the connectivity's testing it, and making sure that all the backup services are in place as well.
So your team's actually, when somebody hires you, your team is going to their house.
Absolutely.
And you're making sure this is all set up right. Because it's your reputation on the line.
Well, you have to think of it as an entire circle, and you have to keep the security inside that circle, even if you're home. One of the biggest things is working at like a Starbucks or somebody working remotely like that, is making sure that we don't allow them to attach to any kind of Wi-Fi. What we do is make their phone their hotspot.
Yeah.
And we know that the security is there in place.
Yeah, I know. It's really funny. As I upgraded my phone a couple weeks ago, and that was one of the most important things for me. Was I wanted to be able to work outside, but I just don't, after knowing you and Jay forever, I always look at these things, and it's where's my security and where can I have something happen? I'm like everybody else. I'm lazy with passwords, and I especially my important ones. I'm really good at those, making them as confusing as hell that I can't remember them. But we want to make it safe. So, what are some of the what else are concerns of business owners when they see you and they want, okay, we need Fred, we need technology help, because everybody hates the IT guy. They want to see him until they need it. They don't want to see him until they need him. How do you help that?
So we offer a 1 to 2 hour free consultation with the client. We want to make sure that they're completely satisfied and comfortable with our services. And even with our service level agreements or a block of time agreements, if you're not happy within the first month, we can split ways, but that almost rarely ever happens. We want to make sure that we tighten up the issues that they're having, get it to where we're not getting any phone calls rarely, and then our MSP software, managed services provider software, sends us all the information. And if there's a hiccup, we can attack that ahead of time before the client even knows anything's happening.
So 9 times out of 10, they're seeing you a lot up front.
Correct.
And then we want to get to the point that they don't see you at all.
Ever. It's just all phone call, remote, Zoom, and we can take care of everything remotely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, except that you come by and you pop by and have a drink with them and just get to know them. You don't want them to see any issues. I think that's it. The more secure they are, the less issues they're going to have.
Well,
right?
My ultimate goal is, I tell them, I don't want to get any phone calls from you, because if I'm getting phone calls from you, I'm not doing my job.
That's amazing, and it's a great way to look at it. How do you share that with your potential customers? It's a great tagline.
Well, I tell them that exact, I don't want you to call me. If you're calling me, you're having issues. Mm-hmm. And we want to do everything under the radar. We don't even want you knowing half the stuff that's going on because, first of all, a lot of it's over their head. You don't want to continually bore them with IT information, and it really gets them back to their core business on whatever their industry is instead of messing, because a lot of times by the time they reach us, they're 20% of their work week is dealing with IT issues. They don't have time for that.
Yeah, you can't do that. And most of them, they're probably like me. They're not really good at it. You know, I was one of those late adopters of the last Microsoft upgrade. You know, I didn't get it till I absolutely had to, and God, I hate it now. It frustrates the hell out of me. And you know, I'm sure people that have been through it for a year now, all those things are, you know, going. I think what did they introduced a couple weeks ago? Was it Edge? Oh my gosh, that just gave me all kinds of headaches. You know, I was not able to save documents, and it took me a while. And I'm not tech savvy, and I don't have enough. You know, I'm a single guy, so I'm really a single person. So you're not the kind of guy that I go hire. I'd like to. I want to get to where I got 10 or 12, so I say, okay, Fred, take care of this shit, so I don't got to worry about it. But you know, going from there. So when we get into bigger enterprise stuff, how did you take the business from small individual doctors to enterprise? I mean, you know, when I talked to you the other day, we went out and had some drinks the other day, and you were talking about how you're growing. I mean, how did that happen?
So it really boils down to word of mouth and the individuals that I'm talking to wanting to get into that space, talking about what we could do for enterprise services. You know, there's a lot of big companies out there that they have a specific number of IT staff, and that's it. They don't have any more, and they don't have the budget for it. And they can bring us in to handle those projects that really need to be taken care of and not bother their current IT staff on what they're doing to the infrastructure. So that's kind of what we've done to be able to get a lot of those enterprise companies. And the other thing is really working with other companies. Like I've got a call next week with an HR company, and what they do is they are an HR outsourcing company, and they're calling us to really teach their agents on what to look for. So they're going to be advocating for us when they're out and about with their clients.
Yeah, so those we call them joint venture partnerships. You know, you want to have those joint ventures. You know, I know you do a lot of, like you said, we talked earlier, you do a lot of networking and stuff like that. But I'm sure you're pretty tight with who you actually really give referrals to, aren't you?
I am. You really get to know who does the quality work, and it's really because it ends up becoming your name that's on the line. And if you give a bad referral, you know, that really hurts you with your existing client, the people that you network with. So you really have to have a really tight community. And I have, you know, my go-to people in every industry. And sometimes I'll give those leads and I'll give two of them so they can pick which two they like. But I'm giving them 2 quality referrals. Yeah,
I had a guy call me today from Merrill Lynch. You know, he looked me up online, and I love it that he didn't, you know, connect with me, and then his first message was try to sell me his freaking services. That just pisses me off. But he said, hey, I'd like to get to know you. It's interesting what you do. And I do a lot of the same things. You know, I had I don't know if you remember Jeffrey Gittimer, the sales guy. Used to have the little red book of sales and stuff like this. And when I worked at the other coaching company years ago, I went to this conference, and the conference was over, and I had like a 4-hour wait to my plane, and I went to the bar, and Jeffrey was sitting at the bar. And so we just sat down and started talking, and he said, you know, he goes, Mike, he says, it's really interesting. You know, referrals really help businesses start and get going, and it helps them a lot. But, you know, referrals are risky. And he said, you know, the way he explained it to me, he said, look, if you're there and you refer somebody out to, you know, buy flowers for your wife, and they go spend $50, $60 on some flowers, and they die within 2 days, are they going to be pissed? They are, but it's not really going to ruin your reputation. If they go out and they refer somebody and it does a $15,000 IT thing and it doesn't go the way they want to, now you're in a shitload of trouble.
Yeah,
you know, and that's where you go to. So how do you vet your people that are your
consultants?
Your consultants. How do you vet them?
So I've been in the industry for 35 years, so I have a list of questions, especially on current industry standards, that they have to answer. If they miss one of those, then we can't hire them at all. And really understanding that they have to be able to go into any business, again and figure out a solution within 30 minutes and offering up the client a solution. That's key. But really understanding, I'm a network engineer. I know the questions to ask. I know the cyber questions to ask, making sure that they understand what to do. And it's not just about IT. It's about the way you treat people when you're there, is making sure they're respectful, they understand, they talk to the client in terms that they can understand, and they know what's going to happen.
Right. You know, everybody talks branding, and you know, it's not this. Let me see. Since you're on camera and I'm not, it's just not your card. You know, it's not just your logo, and your brand is your people.
Absolutely.
Your people is and what they do, and going in there. You know, this is nice. You know, you got a nice, great looking logo, but branding is who you are.
Absolutely.
And the core values and things like that. How do you look at and how did you establish the core values within your company?
Well, it came to having the clients really trust who you are, because what happens in IT, we're just as important as payroll, HR, anything else, because we hold all that information. So business owners and companies rely and basically hand over their entire business to us to make sure that it's consistently functioning. I mean, that's a really big trust factor that somebody puts on you. And I have about a 98% retention rate since 2000. So I kept all those. They're not leaving, and they're staying with us. I've had clients for 20 years.
And that's great, because like you said, it is really your reputation that's going on here, and there's a huge trust factor, because you know I got a young guy I'm coaching right now up in Dallas. He labels himself as a hacker, your friendly neighborhood hacker, and what he does a little bit of security, but his sales pitch is he goes in and finds out how to get in. He goes, I'm going to go hack you before someone else does. And that's kind of the service he does. But he's been, he's focusing on law firms right now, because they got a lot of client information. He goes, you want me to hack you, not somebody bad.
Sure.
And, let's go in. And that's really important. So we got about 30 seconds before we go. Give me one more tip before we go to commercial. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk less business and more fishing.
So one of the biggest tips I recommend is understanding. Every company that's out there should understand what they're doing for backups and what their IT personnel is doing for backups. They should have multiple redundancies. What happens if, where we go next. It's like a flow chart, making sure this is what happened to me, this is where I need to go, how fast can I recover?
So back it up, back it up, back it up. I mean, that's what we heard. I remember you actually told me once, you've got every email you've ever gotten for the past 30 years, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're the backup king. All right, this is Mike Rager, your business guide. We're going to be back with Fred Costa. We're going to talk fishing, cigars, making money, and having fun. That's why we're in business. So take it away, Jonathan.
Are you looking for a full-service company that can handle everything from a new roof installation, restoration, and maintenance with all the experience that comes from nearly 50 years of business? Joe Ochoa Roofing specializes in inspections, roof repairs, new roof installations, gutters, siding, windows, and even more. Damage on your roof can sometimes take up to 1 year or more to show up. Joe Ochoa Roofing gives you the peace of mind you need to ensure your home and family are well protected from weather elements. Joe Ochoa Roofing offers the best quality workmanship with an accredited business since 1996 by the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. We also have financing available with no interest and no payments for 12 months. So don't delay and call us to get a quote at 281-890-0000 or visit our website at www.ochoaroofing.com for more information.
COVID-19 COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hello, I'm Jose Hernandez, retired NASA astronaut, entrepreneur, and proud son of migrant farm workers. Our migrant families do very important work. Many follow the harvest and move frequently throughout the U.S. and thus have many needs. One way to improve your family's future is by participating in the 2020 census. The census only occurs every 10 years, but it affects public funding for clinics, schools, and other essential programs for our communities. Each person must be counted at the address where they live the most during the year. However, if you move frequently, don't worry. Simply fill out your questionnaire where you are living on April 1st, 2020. The information you provide is confidential and is not shared with other government organizations. The future of our families depends on you. So make yourself count before July 31st. For more information, visit the website 2020census.gov.
All right, Mike Rager, your business guide, back with Teach Your Business to Fish. And again, I got my buddy Fred Costa from NSC Information Technology Group. I did it right this time, Fred.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the right here. This is what we're here, and this is... We didn't even know this was our passion together when we first met, because we met smoking cigars.
Absolutely.
And that's, one of our passions. We like to smoke a good cigar and drink some good whiskey, but fishing. Tell me about your fishing, Fred, man. I know you got a boat, you got some stuff. Tell me about what you love about fishing.
So it really puts me in a different place. It gets my mind right after I go out there. It was funny because right during this COVID, the Galveston Yacht Basin was always open. Mm-hmm. And so I could go out there. And the first time I went back fishing when all this was going on, I was out there for 11 hours by myself in the bay, just fishing, having a good time, letting the wind it feels so good and it clears your mind.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't have to look up the quote, but I think it was Thoreau said is oftentimes men go fishing not even looking to actually catch fish. Something like that. We're out there, but catching fish is the fun part, and we love doing it. You went with me to Venice, Louisiana. What was that like for you?
That was a great trip because you get to be with a lot of business professionals, true business professionals that you've gotten together. And I got to say that you did a really good job of getting the right people on that trip because it was a great time, great conversation, smoking cigars all the way down there. His car stunk, but it was great stink.
Oh my God, that's right. We had Jim Thomas with us. We were, I remember, man, I can't remember who was following us in the trip, and he said, "Man, it looked like your truck looked like it was a."
Well, he had his cigar shop, and he had the whole cigar shop in the car with us.
In the car, man. I think after that weekend, I didn't want to smoke another cigar again for like a week.
I think I smoked 20 on the way there.
On the way to Louisiana.
Yeah.
I thought, because then we had to stop and pick up some drinks on the way once we got there. It was just awesome, but getting out there, catching tuna and stuff like that. Had you done that before? Or
I have. On my honeymoon, we went to Puerto Vallarta, and I actually caught 28 by myself.
Oh, man.
And it was so great because we gave 26 to the boat.
Right.
And my wife and I took 2 back, one for the house caregivers and one for us. And it was so fresh. They're so fun. I haven't really caught a marlin before, but just tuna fishing, being out there, and that 42-foot Freeman is my on my wish list, bucket list.
It is. We were out there the other day. We went out with them over Memorial Day weekend, and we caught 8 really nice tuna. You saw the snapper we caught the other day. You need to come on that trip with us, man. I'm telling you, man, that's some good eats. it was amazing. You know, one of the things that I saw, you know, when I did this trip, the guy we fish with now, Taylor, with Wave Dancer Charters. I'll give you a little plug there, buddy. But we're out there. We started. We caught our tuna. We're coming back. We're trolling for kingfish, and he's like, Ranger, I want you to do this. You know, I want you to just cast out. And I want you to slowly, you know, let the bait go. And we're trolling dead sardines, and these things are just twisting, they're flashing. And you guys don't know that you fish inshore. You get out there, that blue water, you can see everything. And it's trolling, and from about 15 feet away, you can see this lit up kingfish coming at it. And I hooked like a 30-pound kingfish where I saw him coming. And it's just so cool when you can see this stuff coming and seeing it go the right way. But it goes back to what we were saying, the pitch bait and everything we started. We knew exactly what we were doing and exactly what we were going for and trying to accomplish.
Well, the other thing is really understanding, you know, getting experience, because it just takes learning where you're fishing and learning the bait, presenting it right to the fish, making sure you're in the right area. Because I do a lot of inshore fishing, so a lot of East Galveston, West Galveston, around Pelican Island,
right
in the Ship Channel.
Yeah, it's I tell my clients, if you're ever coming into it, if you're going fishing somewhere, you need to go hire a guide the first time, because that guide can really show you where you need to go and what you need to do. And, you know, that's why I pick my title, the business guide. You know, I've built a company that we've sold. I've helped my clients build companies to sell them. I know, you know, you're building your company to one day sell it, you know, and, you know, that's what you want to do. And, you know, what's your dream trip? Where haven't you been yet that you want to go?
Well, right before all this thing happened with COVID, it was our 20th year anniversary, and I was going to take my wife to Roatan.
Okay.
So there, and you know, we always like going down to Belize. It's a go-to spot. It's only 2 hours away, but somewhere exotic like Roatan and maybe the British Virgin Islands.
So do you fly fish at all?
I do.
Do you? So have you caught a bonefish yet?
I have.
It's freaking ridiculous that a little fish that small can pull so freaking
well, 3
hard.
years
isn't it?
ago, I was down in Florida, and I went with a bunch of buddies. We went to Marathon Key, and they've got that 7-mile bridge there, and I caught a 125-pound tarpon.
Nice.
And I was starting to reel it in, and I thought, and the guy was like, no, you're going to be on that thing for an hour. And I was like, what? And then an hour and 15 minutes later, my arms felt like they were going to fall off. This thing was massive. I got pictures. And in fact, this weekend, I caught one 3-foot bonnethead shark and a 3.5-foot bonnethead shark out by South Jetties in Galveston.
Nice. My little guy who was on my very first, he wants to go catch a shark.
We need to get together soon.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. You know, you just got to tell me and we'll go. He's ready to go anytime. But it's funny is going to do those things. You know, I hit the bucket list when I was a kid, and, you know, my original bucket list was Cabo. And when I did Cabo, it was amazing. I look at it, you know, wishing I would have changed my life, because when I went down there, me and a friend of mine, Charlie, we just got done working this big pipeline project. You know, I had like 80 grand in the bank, and we go down to Cabo, and the last day we look at each other and we go like, do we really need to go home? You know, we really wish, you know, God, do I really want to go build another pipeline? Because
I'm really afraid. My wife keeps on telling us we need to go to all these exotic places. You get me in the right place, and I might never come back.
Yeah, I know. If I would have known then what I know now in Cabo, I would have never left, and I probably would have been a real estate developer down there, you know, because it just went, you know, crazy. You know, it was fun back then. I mean, you know, drinking and, you know, women on single, it was all good times.
Yep.
You know, I've done Costa Rica. Costa Rica is,
never
oh
been
my
there.
God,
Is
amazing. It? But, you know, you got to get on a blue marlin. I mean, I caught a blue marlin in a place called Rancho Leoneros of the East Cape. It's about 60 miles north of Cabo, in the Gulf of the Gulf of California there. Oh my God, it's just amazing, you know, catching a 300-pound fish. You know, it's just amazing. But I want to go back to that bonefish, you know, and talking about those and the fly fishing stuff. And I remember I was in Belize. I used to work for a guy that owned a company called Anglers and Hunters Travel. You know, it's kind of like, and I got to go to places to go test them out. And I got to go to Belize to a place called Turnett Flats, and I go out there, and the guy, you know, gives me the fly rod, and we're out there, and he goes, all right, you know, the bonefish there are almost like pets, kind of. It's not like, they're catching the same bonefish all the time. And I hooked one, dude. It couldn't have been more than 14 inches long, and that thing pulls so hard it almost pulled that rod out of my hand. I wasn't expecting it to hit and go there, but it was just nuts. But the process. Now you've got a boat, right? And you do stuff. How rigorous are you on your process of what you do every time you go out?
I am. What I do is I make sure that I have all the right baits. Where I'm going to go depends on what baits I'm going to bring, making sure I have the right hooks, whether I'm going to have live bait or use all the plastics and all the fake baits, is really understanding where you're going and what the depth is, making sure that you have a right read. The weather is a factor. I mean, I can be here in Houston looking at Galveston.com at the webcam. It's perfect down there. The second I cross that bridge, a tornado comes or a hurricane. I mean, it just knows when I'm down there or across that bridge.
I used to do that too, man. I used to love taking my kayak down there, and I swear to God, I'd be looking at that surf cam. It's like, oh my God, I'm going out there. I'm going to go there because I like fishing offshore in my kayak. And, I drive down there, and it's like, wait a minute. An hour ago, it was smooth, and I get down here, it looks like freaking chocolate milk in 4-foot waves. Like, where the hell did this come from?
Speaking, of the bonefish that you've got, it's so different. We're still kind of in the same Gulf of Mexico, but when you're there in Florida, I mean, it's a whole different environment. The flats where you get your bonefish can't be more than 2 feet.
Yep.
It's crystal clear. The guy spotting the bonefish for you, hit it there, put it at 12 o'clock, 50 feet. It's crazy. And the different, fly fishing, or we were, he had broken a shrimp in half,
right,
and was throwing it out there with a spin rod. That's how he was catching it.
Right. But it's that's why we always bring this back to business, is no matter where you are, things are different. And you've got to be prepared for the different. You got to be prepared exactly for what you want to do. And, when you started your business, you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You knew exactly what you wanted to do, who you wanted to go there for, and to do this. So we got like 3 minutes left. How do people contact you? Give us all that information.
So we are at www.nscitgroup.com. Our main phone number is 713-974-3889, or you can contact me directly anytime at 832-868-7614. And you could find us out on Google. We do a lot of search engine optimization. It's really coming down to getting in and visiting with those clients. I have about a 99% success rate. If I'm sitting in front of you and you have an issue, you're probably going to be a client. Right now, you're looking at us on the board and our contact page. You can go to our contact page and fill out a request form, and we call you within a couple hours and we start the conversation.
Nice. I love it. That's what it's all about. It's getting there. I think, Fred, you gave us a lot of great information today. You're really, you're a several $1 million company now, man. Did you ever dream of that?
No. And to get back to the main point is how much people struggle when they start a new business. My wife was like, in the first 6 months, she was like, man, you might need to be looking for a new job, go to work for somebody, because this is not working out. And then when my father-in-law told me that about getting into a networking group, I got introduced, and to a bunch of different people. Within the next 6 months, I had already doubled my corporate salary at my last job. So it's really, I still look back today and all the struggles that I've had over the 20 years. They say after the first 5 years, you're kind of golden. No, that's not really true. It's a constant struggle every day. I work 12 to 20 hours a day sometimes to make sure that this thing is functioning. And you have to constantly reinvent yourself, especially during times like this.
Yeah, pivot, man. I'm so glad you were able to come on. I think it was lucky. We were supposed to have another guest, and he canceled. And something came up, and I'm glad we've got to spend the whole time. So, I'm going to wrap things up. Let's just going on with me. Hey, if you guys want to go snapper fishing with us, July 27th, I've got 3 spots left to go snapper fishing. Last time we averaged a 20-pound snapper. Caught a whole bunch of kingfish. It's fun. I'm going to be next Thursday. I'm going to be speaking online with the Heights Chamber of Commerce. So go there if you want to learn about your perfect pitch. We're going to be teaching you there. For those of you that are looking for some stuff, I've got some COVID. Oh crap! I'm going. This is my old age, Fred. I always forgot what I want to say. But I got some offers to bring people in right now. So go to my website, www.teachyourbusinesstofish. Go out and see us. Say hi. Let us know what's going on. We're here to help. We're a guide. That's what the guides are for. They're to take you from where you are now and help you to get to where you want to be. That's what I think we do very well. We help our clients be successful. Come on up with us. You're seeing the michaelrager.com page. Come on with one of us and see the Teach Your Business to Fish. But, everybody, I hope you have a great week. Don't let this COVID crap keep you down. Go out there and make yourself a real success. This is Mike Rager, your business guide. We'll talk to you next week.